Hello and welcome to All Sides Academy. In this worksheet, we'll be looking at forming and solving equations, and this is the foundation stage. This worksheet is available in PDF form. You can download a free copy using the link in the description down below. We'll start with solving equations. So I'll start with the first question, 2y equals to 8. So I divide by 2 on both sides, divide by 2 right there on both sides because the 2 has been multiplied by the y. So I do the inverse operation. The inverse operation of multiplication is division. So when I do that, I get 2 divided by 8 divides 8 4 times. So y equals to 4. T minus 4 equals to 7. So this is subtraction. So when it goes to the inverse operation, it becomes positive. It's like taking the negative 4 to the other side of the equal sign. So it becomes positive 4. T equals to 11. Solve x over 4 equals to 3. So the 4 has been divided by x. So in this case, what we do is we multiply 4 on both sides. So the 4's cancel out. We remain with x equals to 12. So our x is 12. Solve y over 3 equals to 6. So we multiply by 3 on both sides because it has been divided. And the 3 cancel out, y becomes 18. So our y is 18. Solve y for 7y equals to 54. So I rewrite that equation. 7y equals to 54. So I divide by 4 on both sides. I divide by 7. And I get y equals to 54 over 7. So when I divide using the long method, 7 goes into 54 7 times for 49. We remain with 5. And we will write our answer as 7 and 5 over 7. And 5 over 7 right there. 2t minus 5 equals to 9. So this is a two-step equation. So I'll write 2t minus 5 equals to 9. I'll start by taking the 5 to the other side. And when I do that, it becomes positive. So 2t equals to 9 plus 5. 2t equals to 9 plus 5, which is 14. Then I divide by 2 on both sides. So the 2 cancels out, and then I remain with t being equal to 7. So my value for t is 7. Solve for w equals to 20. So 4 has been multiplied. I do the inverse, which is dividing. The 4's cancel out, and when I divide 20 by 4, I get 5 right there. So my value for w is 5. X minus 6 equals to 3. So here I take the 6 to the other side, and it becomes positive. So x equals to 3 plus 6. X equals to 9. So my value for x is 9. Y over 3 equals to 7. The 3 has been divided, so I multiply by 3 on both sides. Y equals to, so it remains y equals to 21. So my value for y is 21 right there. Solve b minus 7 equals to 12. So I take the 7 to the other side, which changes to become positive. So b equals to 12 plus 7. b equals to 19 when I add them up. Solve 5e equals to 40. 5 has been multiplied by e, so I divide 5 on both sides. The 2 cancel out. The e becomes 8. So my value for e right there is 8. Is 8. Solve 4m plus 6 equals to 15. Another two-step equation. So I start by taking the 6 to the other side. 4m equals to 15 minus 6. 4m equals to 9. Then divide 4 on both sides. So I'm going to put a line right there so that I divide the 9 by 4. So m is 9 over 4. And when I divide that using the long method, 4 goes into 9 two times, and that gives you 8, remainder 1. So my value for m will be 2 and 1 over 4. Yeah, so m equals to 2 and a quarter. Solve 5w minus 6 equals to 10. Another two-step equation. I take the negative 6 to the other side, so it changes and becomes positive. 5w equals to 10 plus 6. So 5w equals to 16. When I divide 5 on both sides, the two 5s cancel out so that I remain with w. And then when I divide 16 by 5, 5 goes into 16 3 times. So that's for 15 and remainder 1. So my value for w is 3 and 1 over 5. Solve 4x plus 1 equals 9. So 4x plus 1 equals 9. I take the 1 to the other side, and it becomes 4x equals to 9 minus 1. So 4x equals to 8. Divide by 4 on both sides. The two 4s cancel out, and then 4 divides 8 2 times. X then equals to 2. Solve 2x minus 5 equals to 4 equals to 4. I take the 5 to the other side, so I remain with 2x equals to 4 plus 5. 2x equals to 9. Divide then by 2 on both sides. The 2's cancel out on my left-hand side, and then x equals to 9 over 2. So x equals to 9 over 2, which when you have to divide it, 2 goes into 9 4 times. So for 8, remainder 1. So the value of x right there will be 4 and a half. 2y minus 1 equals to 12. So I take the 1 to the other side. So I'll remain with 2y equals to 12 plus 1. So 2y equals to 13. Then divide by 2 on both sides. So the 2's will cancel out. And then I remain with, I'll cancel that, y equals to 13 over 2. So I can divide this using the long method. So make a neat line right there. So 13 inside and 2 outside. So 2 goes into 13 12 times, 6 times, then you remained with 1. So 6.5 is my value for y right there. 4x plus 1 equals to 19. I take the 1 to the other side, so it becomes negative. So 4x equals to 19 minus 1. 4x equals to 18. Divide by 4 on both sides. So over 4 over 4. The two 4's will cancel out. So I remain with x equals to 18 over 2. I simplify by 2. 2 is a common factor. So now I end up remaining with x being equal to x equal to 9 over 2. So when I divide 9 by 2, I get 4, remainder 1 right there, and we can write that as 4.5. 4.5. 4x plus 3 equals to 19. So 4x plus 3 equals to 19. I take the 3 to the other side so that it becomes a negative. 4x equals to 19 minus 3. When I subtract that, I get 16. So divide by 4 on both sides, cancel out the 4's. So I remain with 4 as the value for x. So my x equals to 4. And that's my answer right there. 2q plus 7 equals to 1. So the 7 has been added. When it goes to the other side, it becomes a negative. So I'll write that as 2q equals to 1 minus 7. Now, you have to pay attention to this. This is a small number, subtract a bigger number. Remember, when you have 7 minus 1, it gives you 6. So when it's 1 minus 7, it's negative 6. So that gives us negative. So divide by 2 on both sides. We cancel out the 2's. And then here we'll have 2, 1, 2, negative 3. So the value of Q will be negative 3. Negative 3 right there. Solve x plus x plus x. So these are 3 x's added together. So when you add them together, x plus x plus x being equal to 15. Those are a summation of 3x, which is 15. Divide by 3 on both sides. So when you divide by 3, you get x as 5 in this case. 6x minus 7 equals 38. So I'll take the 7 to the other side. It's a negative, so when it goes to the other side, it becomes positive. So 6x equals to 38 plus 7. 6x equals 45 in this case. So we divide by 6 on both sides. This 6 cancels out with 6. Then by 3, 2 by 3, 15. So we have our value for x as 15 over 2. So you can decide and divide that using the long division. 2 goes into 15 7 times. 7 gives you 14, remainder 1. So we can write that as x equals to 7.5. 7.5. Solve 7x plus 18 equals to 74. So 18 has been added, so we will start by taking it to the other side. So when we take it to the other side, it becomes minus 7x equals to 74 minus 18. So 7x equals, when you subtract the 2, you get 56. Then divide by 7 on both sides. The 2 7's cancel out. You remain with your value for x as 8. So x is 8. 2y plus 3 equals to 9. That should be 9 right there. So I'll change that as 9. Yes, so we take the 3 to the other side and it becomes negative. So we will write 2y equals to 9 minus 3. When we subtract 2y equals 6, divide both sides by 2. The 2 cancel out. And then 2 divides 6 3 times. So my value for y will be, the value for y right there will be 3. So 3. That is y right there, not x. 5 into t minus 3 equals to 25. So there's a bracket that is being involved here. So I'll start by dividing the 5 on both sides. I don't want to open the brackets yet. So those 2 cancel out. I remain with t minus 3 equals to 5. Then I take the 3 to the other side. So t equals to 5 plus 3. So t equals to 8. Here is another bracket. So 4 into 5y minus 2 equals to 48. Again, I do not want to open my brackets. If I can divide the numbers without opening the brackets, that's perfect. So the 4's cancel out. And then 4, 1, 4, 12. So 5y minus 2 equals to 12. So I can take the 2 to the other side. It becomes positive. So 5y equals to 12. 12 plus 2. 5y equals to 14. Now I will make a beautiful line right there and then divide 5 on both sides. 5y equals to 14. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. The 2 5's cancel out. Now I'll divide 14 by 5. When I divide 14, 5 goes into 14 2 times for 10, and then I remain with 4. So I'll write that as 2 and 4 over 5. So that's my value for y, 2 and 4 over 5 right there. 3x plus 1 equals to 11x plus 9. So these are two sides of the equation. So I'll start by putting like terms together. So put the like terms together. The ones that have x, put them together. The ones that do not have any unknown, that's the x, put them together. So I'll bring the 11 to the left and the 1 to the right. So 13x minus 11x equals to 9 minus 1. So remember, when they come to the other side, they always change the sign. So when I divide by 2, I remain with x as 4. So my value for x right there equals to 4. X is 4. 5y plus 1 equals to 3y plus 13. So here is another one. You have to put the like terms together. So the 3, I take it to the left-hand side, the 1 to the right-hand side. You'll notice that I'm avoiding any negatives. So I take the small number to the big number. Yeah, so here 5y minus 3y is 2y. And then I divide on both sides by 2 to get y as 6. So my y for this case will be equal to 6. That's 6. 3y plus 10 equals to 5y plus 3. So in this case, I'll take the 3y to the right-hand side because I do not want to work with any negatives. And then the 3, I bring it to the left-hand side. So I'll write that as 10 minus 3 equals to 5y minus 3y. So when I subtract, I get 7y equals to 7 equals to 2y. Divide by 2 on both sides, the 2 cancels out, and then 7 divide by 2 is, okay, so I can decide to either do the long division or I know the half of 7 is 3.5 or 3.5, but this long division gives us the value of y as 3.5. 3.5 right there. 2y plus 17 equals to 6y plus 5. That's 6y right there plus 5. So again, I'm avoiding any negatives whatsoever. So I bring the small number to the big number. Yeah, so I bring the 2 right there and the 5, I take it to the left-hand side. So 17 minus 5 equals 6y minus 2y. When I subtract this 2, I get 12. 12 equals to 4y. Then I divide by 4 on both sides. We cancel that out. Then we remain with y equals to 3. So 3 equals to y, and that is the same as y equals to 3. Yeah. Rearranging the formula. For here, we need to make u the subject of the formula. So d equals to ut plus kt squared. I'll start by taking the kt squared to where the d is. So I'll move it to the left-hand side. Remember, when it crosses the equal sign, it becomes negative. So minus kt squared equals to ut. Then divide by t on both sides so that I remain with u on one side. So making the subject of the formula means you want that letter to be on one side and then all the other letters or numbers to be on the other side. So those cancels out, and then we have the value of u being equals to d minus kt squared over t. So u equals to d minus kt squared over t right there. This second question asks us to solve for the value of x. So divide by 4 without opening the brackets. So 6 divides 4 how many times? 1.5 times. 3 over 2 is 1.5 right there. Yeah, so I'm going to write x plus 3 equals to 1.5. I take the 3 to the other side so that it becomes minus. So 1.5 minus 3. But you will remember that when you have a big number minus a small number, it's always a positive answer. So when we have 3 minus 1.5, you get 1.5. So if it's 1.5 minus 3, the answer is negative. So in our case, the value of x will be negative 1.5. Make t the subject of the formula. So I'll start by rewriting that. Take all the letters that do not have contain t to the other side. So v minus u equals to 5t, then divide by 5 so that we remain with t on one side. That's what making the subject of the formula entails. So we divide that and then we get v minus u over 5 equals t. And we have made t the subject of the formula. V minus u over 5. Expand x minus y squared. So this is the same as x minus y times x minus y. I'll use the FOIL formula to expand these two brackets. FOIL stands for first, outer, inner, and last. So the first letters will be x times x, which is x squared. Then the outer ones are x times negative y. So the two multiplied together will give us negative xy. The inner ones are negative y and x. So we multiply that and get negative xy, and then the last ones, which are negative y and negative y. And when we multiply those two, we get y squared. Then we put all this together, having multiplied them. So x squared minus xy plus y squared. So the two become negative 2xy. So I rewrite that as x squared minus 2xy plus y squared. And that is our expanded and simplified expression of that bracket. Rearrange a into q minus c equals to d to make q the subject of the formula. So we want q on one side, so we start by removing one letter at a time by dividing a on both sides. Then we remain with q minus c equals to d over a. What's remaining is taking the c to the other side. It becomes positive when it goes to the other side. And that way we have remained with q on one side. So d over a plus c. Make x the subject of the formula. So here I'll start by opening the brackets, because remember the x is inside the bracket. So open the brackets first. So 5 into x minus 3 means you're multiplying the 5 by any number that is in the bracket. So I get that. And then y into 4 minus 3x means you're multiplying the y with every number in the bracket as well. So having done that, now I rewrite that equation. 5x minus 15 equals to 4y minus 3xy. And then I put the like terms together, the ones that have the x value, because that is the one that I need on one side. So I will take the 3xy to the left-hand side, becomes positive, and then 4y minus becomes positive, so plus 15. Now, the next thing is to factor out the x, because I want to make it the subject of the formula. So I will factor the x out because it's common. So x, when factored out, you remain with 5 plus 3y equals to 4y plus 15. Now I want to take this bracket to the other side. It's been multiplied to the x. So what I do is the opposite, which is division. So I divide both sides by that bracket. The first on the left will cancel out, and then I will remain with x equals to 4y plus 15 over 5 plus 3y. And that way I have made x the subject of the formula over 5 plus 3y. Rearrange the formula to make A the subject of the formula. So here, if the letter you are to make the subject of the formula is a denominator, you need to get that out of the denominator. So I will do that by multiplying by n plus 1 on both sides, n plus a on both sides. So of course, these two will cancel out. That's why I've multiplied them. And then on the left-hand side, I will remain with p into n plus a and then n squared plus a. So the p will multiply each number in the bracket so that I get np plus ap equals to n squared plus a. Then I put the like terms together. In this case, I want the a as the subjects of the formula, so I need it on one side, all the a's on one side. So ap minus a equals to n squared minus np. The next thing is to factor out the a because it's common in the two. So factor out the a. I'll make a line right there. So always remember to arrange your work neatly. A into p minus 1 equals to n squared minus np. So I do the next thing, which is divide the p minus 1 on both sides. So that is p minus 1, p minus 1. The two cancel out. And then I have a equals to n squared minus np over p minus 1 as the last step of that equation. So I have made a the subject of the formula in this case. Make x the subject of the formula. Again, anytime you see it as a denominator, you need to get rid of it. But in this case, I want to use what we call cross multiplication. So I'll multiply the opposites, the numerator with the denominator, the numerator with the denominator. So when I do that, I get xq equals to p into x plus c. So xq equals, I open the brackets by multiplying the p to each of those letters inside the bracket. So that, and then I need x on one side, all the x's on one side. So I bring them to the left-hand side. xq equals xq minus xp equals cp. The next thing is to factor out the x. So I remain with q minus p equals to cp. Then I divide by that bracket so that I just remain with x on one side. So q minus p over q minus p. The two cancel out and I remain with x as my x will be equal to cp over q minus p. And I have made x the subject of the formula in this case. Cp over q minus p. Linear equations. So in this case, we are given a question of a family of two. So they go to a cinema to buy tickets. So the same family buy 2 adult tickets and 3 child tickets. They pay £28.20 for the tickets. The Peterson family buy 3 adult tickets and 5 child tickets. They pay £44.75 for the tickets. Find the cost of each adult ticket, and each child ticket. So in this case, we do not know the cost of each of those tickets. So we are going to let letters to represent the cost of each of these tickets. So let A represent the cost of adult tickets, and let C represent the cost of child tickets. So you can choose any letter of your choice. So I'm going to rewrite the total cost for the first family. So if each ticket costs A and we have 2 of them, we're going to have 2A for the adults and 3C for the child, and the total is 28 and 20. And then the second family is 3 for the adults and then 5 for the child tickets. And that gives a total of 44 and 75. Now, I want to solve this simultaneous equation using elimination. So in elimination, I'm going to eliminate one of the letters and then use the remaining letter to find the solution. So in this case, we are going to eliminate the letter A. So I'm going to rewrite that 2A and then 3C. So I want to eliminate A. So what is going to happen in this case? I want to multiply the opposite numbers with each of these equations. So you will notice that the 3 has been multiplied by the first equation and the 2 has been multiplied by the second equation. So going forward, I'm going to multiply out everything in the bracket with a 3, starting with the first. So I'll have 3 times 2 is 6, and it's an 6A in this case. So I'll write that as 6A plus 9C equals, when you multiply the 2, you get 84.60. And then for the second one, I'll have 6A. So I'll write that as 6A plus 10C equals, when you multiply that, you get 89.50. Then elimination means I'm subtracting the 6A and the 6A so that it gets to 0. So when I do that, I'm subtracting the whole equation. So 9C minus 10C is negative 1C, which is just written as negative 6. And when I subtract these two numbers, 84.60 minus 89.5, I get negative 4.9. So my value for C will be 4.9. If negative C is negative 4.9, then the C will be 4.9. So I use the first equation to solve for the A. I'm going to substitute the value of C in the first equation. That's what I'm going to do for me to be able to solve the value of A. So when I do that, I remain with 2A plus, when you multiply these two, you get 14.7 equals to 28.2. Then I take the 14.7 to the other side of the equation. So I remain with 2A plus 14.7 equals to 28.2. Take the 14.7 to the other side. So I remain with 2A equals to 28.2 minus 14.7. 2A then gives us 2A is going to give us 13.5. Now I want to remain with A on one side, so I divide by 2. By 2, A equals to 7.5. And that is the solution for A and the solution for C. So that means that the adult ticket will cost £7.50, and the children ticket or the child tickets will cost £4.90. Moving on to the next one, solve that. So I'll rewrite that. And the method I will use here is still elimination. We have to eliminate one of the letters. So in this case, we will eliminate the value x. So in elimination, we have to make the two numbers to have the same coefficient. So for them to have the same coefficient, it's like we are looking for a common factor between 2 and 3 and a common multiple between 2 and 3. And in this case, the multiple we are using is 6. So we multiply the two equations by the opposite numbers. So by 3 and by 2. So remember, it's multiplying the whole equation. Yeah. So 2 over 3 times 3, the two threes cancel out, and then you get 2 remaining. And then on the second equation, we have 6x minus 8y equals 36. Subtraction, because we are eliminating the x. So when we do that, we remain with 0 on one side. And then this is 9y minus negative 8. So when the two are subtracted, we get positive 17y, which is equal to negative 34. So rewriting that, I will make a line right there and then rewrite that 17y equals negative 34. Then divide by 17 on both sides. So y equals negative 2. So once I have the value for y, I can use it to find the value of x by substituting this in any of the two equations that we have. So I'll use the second one, 3x minus 4 times the value of y, which is negative 2, equals to equals 18. So 3x minus 4 times negative 2, that's a negative times a negative, which gives you positive 8. That's why we have positive 8 right there. Then take it to the other side and it gives us 3x equals 10. Now I'm going to rewrite that so that I find the value of x in this case. So the value of x will be given by, so 3x equals 10. So we divide by 3 on both sides. So x equals to 10 over 3, which is 3 and a third. Or you can, do the long way. 10 divide 3. 3 goes into 10 3 times. So that's 9, remainder 1. So it can be written as 3 and 1 over 3 as your value for x. Yeah, so that's the value of x and the value of y right there. Solve the simultaneous equation. So here we have x and y. So you have to choose which of the letters you're going to eliminate first, because the method we are using is still elimination. So in this case, I will eliminate y. So you can either eliminate the first letter or the second letter. The choice is yours. So I want the coefficients of y to be the same. So I will rewrite that for the two equations and then multiply by the 3 in the first equation, because the second equation already has the 3. So 12x plus 3y equals 75. Then x minus 3y equals 16. Now, when the two numbers that you want to eliminate have different operations, that's a positive and a negative, you add the equations for you to be able to eliminate the letter. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to add the two expressions. So 12x plus x gives you 13x. And then, of course, on this other side, we have 91. So 13x equals 91. So we want to figure out 13 times what number gives you 91. So an easy way is to divide by 13 on both sides. So x equals 91 over 13, which is 7. So the value of x is 7. So with the value of x, you can be able to find the value of y by substituting that value in one of the equations that we have. So I use the first one. So 7 times 4 plus y should give you 25. So 28 plus y equals to 25. We take the 28 to the other side. So we remain with y equals 25 minus 28, and the y will be equal to negative 3. So the value of x is 7 and the value of y is -3. Solve these simultaneous equations. Now here you will notice that there's an unknown that has the same coefficients, that is the y. So it's easy for us to actually just eliminate that. So remember we said when the operations are different, we add them. So in this case, we are going to add the two equations for us to be able to eliminate the y. So when we add the two, we get, I will use a line right there. So 3x plus 7x is 10x. So remember we said we are going to eliminate the 2y and the -2y and the +2y. So 10x equals 20. So 10x equals 20. We divide by 10 on both sides, and then we remain with x as x being equal to 2. So with the value of x, we need to solve for the value of y. So we substitute that in one of the equations. I'm using the second one. So 7 times 2 is 14. So 14 plus 2y equals 13. So I take the 14 to the other side so that it becomes negative. So 2y equals 13 minus 14. 2y equals -1. So we divide by 2 on both sides, and then we remain with y being equal to -half or -0.5. So the value of y is -half and the value of x is 2 in this case. A cinema sells adult tickets and child tickets. The total cost of 3 adult tickets and 1 child ticket is £30. The total cost of 1 adult ticket and 3 child tickets is £22. Work out the cost of an adult ticket and the cost of a child ticket. In this case, because we do not know the cost of the adult and the child tickets, we're going to let letters to represent that cost. So I'm going to let A represent the cost of the adult ticket and C to represent the cost of the child ticket. So let C represent the cost of the child ticket, and A to represent the cost of the adult ticket. So I'll rewrite the expression for the total cost, the equation for the total cost. So 3A plus C equals 30, and A plus 3C equals 22. So this forms a simultaneous equation that needs to be solved. So I'll need to decide on which letter to eliminate. So I'm going to use elimination as the method of solving these two. So we're going to eliminate, in this case, we're eliminating C. So we multiply by 3 to the first equation. So 3A, so by 3, so I'll have 9A plus 3C equals 90. So A plus 3C, that's 3C equals 22. Then we subtract the two equations. So when we subtract, we get 8A, and then that's a 0, so equals 68. So I will rewrite that as 8A equals 68. So I divide by 8 on both sides. So the 8's cancel out. And then here we have A equals, so by 2, 4, by 2, 34, by 2, 2, by 2, 17. So I have A being equal 17 over 2. so which is 8.5, or you can decide to go the long way and try confirm your answer. So with the A, I need to be able to solve for the C. So I'll substitute the value of A in one of the equations. So I'm using the second one. So 8.5 plus 3C equals to 22. So I take the 8.5 to my right-hand side. So 3C equals 22 minus 8.5. So 3C, I'll make a line right there so that I have 3C equals 13.5. Then I divide by 3 on both sides. So when I do that, I get C is equal to 4.5. So that means because the A and the C were representing the cost of each of those tickets, the cost of the adult tickets will be £8.50, while the cost of the child tickets will be £4.50. So I'm going to write that. Child tickets will cost £4.50, while adult tickets cost £8.50 right there. Paper clips are sold in small boxes and in large boxes. There is a total of 1,115 paper clips in 4 small boxes and 5 large boxes. There is a total of 530 paper clips in 3 small boxes and 2 large boxes. Work out the number of paper clips in each small box and in each large box. Because we do not know the number of paper clips in the small boxes and the large boxes, we're going to let letters represent those numbers. So let S represent the number of paper clips in the small box, in small boxes, and then let L represent the number of paper clips in large boxes. Again, you can choose any letter of your choice. I've decided to go for S and L so that it aligns with the small and large, words. So I'll rewrite an equation for that total. So 4 times the number of paper clips and 5 times the number of paper clips should be 1,115. And then the second one, 3S plus 2L equals 530. This is a simultaneous equation and we will solve it by elimination. So we will choose which of the letters to eliminate. You can either eliminate L or eliminate S. In this case, I'm going to eliminate S. So I multiply by the opposite numbers, the opposite coefficients with each of these equations. So I'll remain with 12S plus 15L equals 3,345. And then I'll also have 12S plus 8L equals 2,120. So elimination means I want to subtract the first two. So I subtract that and then I get 0. And then 15 minus 8 is 7. So that is 7L. So I'll write that as 7L equals, when I subtract the 2, I get 1,225. So 7L equals to 1,225. I divide by 7 on both sides. So L will be equal to 175. So that's the number of paper clips in the large box. So I use the L to solve for S by substituting in one of the equations that we have there. So I use the second one. So 3S equals 350 plus 350 equals 530. Yeah, so I'm taking the 350 to the other side. 3S equals 530 minus 350. So 3S equals 180. When I divide on both sides, I remain with S equals 60.